What is it about your management team that makes them uniquely capable of executing on this year's business plan? And this question is exactly what Assess, which is rd&partners' full-scale, customized selection and evaluation system with a 360-degree performance appraisal for executive and managerial employees, what it was designed to help you answer. Now, Assess is designed to evaluate the talent, skills, and competencies necessary for critical leadership positions. Why is it important to evaluate your executive talent before they're hired and then during employment? Well, quite frankly, your upper-level management is the lifeblood of your company. A bad CEO, president, VP, or high-level supervisor or manager can literally sabotage your company from the inside out. And the question then becomes, do you have the right selection process and assessments in place to ensure that you hire the very best talent that not only brings high-level skills to the position, but more importantly, aligns with your culture and business objectives? Let's call this critical area number 1, which is hiring and selection of new talent. Now, what about existing executive or managerial employees? Do you currently have the right executive talent in place to take your organization to the next level? Or more importantly, do you know the best way to develop this talent and then determine which one of your leaders is ready for higher levels of responsibility? Let's call this critical area number 2, the development of existing talent. These two critical aspects must work in tandem to ensure that your organization meets your objectives and those of your stakeholders, and is precisely what our flagship product, Assess, is designed to help you achieve. So let's start right at the top, the hiring and selection of new talent. Well, as a board member, a stakeholder, a business owner, or upper-level manager or executive yourself, you understand that it is vital to your company's success that you find and hire the right professional and place them in their best performing roles within your company. Now, a poorly performing supervisor, manager, or executive can cost your business millions of dollars in lost productivity, rework, profit, and morale and reputation. So what are the ingredients that should be a part of critical area number 1, which was hiring and selection of new talent? Well, there's 2 primary ingredients. The first is assessment and initial selection process criteria. So it starts with the right selection process, the systems, protocols, and assessments, which are vital to ensure that you hire the very best talent that not only brings high-level skills to the position, but more importantly aligns with your culture and your business objectives. Now, the reason this is important to your organization is that because without these processes and assessments, how do you even begin to quantify if you've hired the right talent for a particular position before you hire them? Do you hire someone that you know or you've worked with in the past? Maybe you go with a gut feeling after a couple of interviews with someone that you liked. Or maybe you're rewarding an executive simply based on tenure. But relying on a patchwork of interviews and gut feelings simply won't give you the quantifiable and measurable data that the assessment process used in Assess will. Now, the second ingredient to critical area number 1, hiring and selection of new talent, is the measurement and assessment of competencies. Now, all leaders have their strengths and weaknesses. We know that. Well, once a candidate is hired for a new position, did you measure, and are you continuously measuring, the critical development areas that the candidate should focus on to hit the ground running and continuously develop and execute your company's plans with precision? Or did you just trust them to do their jobs with little or no follow-up or assessments to measure that progress or lack thereof? How can you really quantify a leader's success without benchmarks or areas that you know may be a weakness that can be improved upon? Well, Assess allows you to pinpoint exactly where a leader may be falling short of your objectives, and more importantly, how to quickly correct and right the ship. So now let's look at critical area number 2, which is the development of existing talent. So the second critical area has 2 ingredients as well. The first is the development criteria that you use. Sometimes top-level talent leave your organization for other opportunities long before your company has achieved its goals, which can sap your company's growth and execution strategy, not to mention wasting valuable time and resources finding new talent to replace the leaders that have left. So even if your top talent doesn't leave, you might be worried that certain leaders won't execute with the same dedication and passion and skill that you need, and it will not only cost your company financially, but it might also cost you your job. Well, using Assess, your company can accurately measure and evaluate progress and results for your top-level management while planning for improved performance in the future. Assess will also provide your employees with customized guidance and feedback to support them in setting, planning, and achieving their professional development and strategic goals. So the second ingredient to the development process is promotion and succession criteria. Now, how do you determine which one of your leaders is ready for higher levels of responsibility and has the necessary skills and leadership behaviors to deal with the challenges not only within your company, but also within your industry over the next 3 to 5 years? Again, do you promote based on tenure, on a recommendation, or on a gut feeling? There's simply too much at stake for your company to rely on unproven and unquantifiable metrics to promote someone who might not be ready or the right fit for a leadership position within your company's future on the line. And let's assume you do have a handle on the skill profiles of your current talent. Do you also know the best way to develop that talent based on competency models, executive coaching, and other competency-based development tools like a 360-degree performance appraisal? Well, the bottom line, if I asked you the following question, what is it about your management team that makes them uniquely capable of executing on this year's business plan? Well, this question is vital to you and your organization for the obvious reasons and the not so obvious, in that your board of directors, investors, stakeholders will all want to know why and how your leadership team is implementing the organization's business objectives. If those stakeholders asked you this question, could you articulate the key leadership behaviors required for success in your organization? Or could you identify with certainty which one of your current leaders have these behaviors? For all of these reasons and many more, rd&partners' flagship product, Assess, is a necessary tool that companies who want to gain a competitive advantage are using more and more to not only assess talent before bringing it on board, but to also guide current talent to achieve sustainable and measurable company objectives. Assess is rd&partners' full-scale, customized selection and evaluation system with a 360-degree performance appraisal for your executive and managerial employees that's designed to evaluate the talent, skills, and competencies necessary for critical leadership positions. To learn more about exactly how Assess will help your organization hire and develop the absolute best talent, and how it can be customized to your organization's specific needs, culture, and objectives, just click on the green Learn More button below this video and you'll be taken to the Assess Executive Assessment page immediately. Once there, simply click on the Part 2 link on the left-hand side of the page underneath the video player and just press play. This video will show in more detail the 4-step process that Assess uses to help you hire and retain high-performance talent at your highest levels of managerial and executive management. Click the green Learn More button below this video to get started immediately.